In our experiential learning workshops, we run an activity called the loose change. It's an ice-breaking activity. And in this activity, we divide the group, the participants, by their gender. So I would say all the men come towards my left and all the ladies go to the right. And then the group in majority gets a perceived value of 10 rupees each. And the group in minority gets a value of 5 rupees each. Now, most of the times, the group in minority is that of ladies. Now, do you understand what kind of risk I take in my work? Telling a group of ladies that your value is lesser. I can't explain the looks I get. Okay, when the activity starts, I call out different values, like 20 rupees, 40 rupees, 70 rupees, etc. And every time the group has to come together and form a combination which adds up to the value. And if, while doing that, somebody misses out to come into the right combination, they are left out. And we call them loose change. Just like the loose change in a fun way, just like the loose change which is left out in the pockets. Now, the thing is, if somebody is caught loose change for 3 times, they are told that they will be performing in front of others. This acts as a great motivator. And very soon as the activity starts, you can see people running in the room and screaming and shouting in no time. And while this whole chaos, which is a happy chaos and laughter is happening, the life and the job of the group in minority becomes a little difficult initially. Because see, I'm calling all these values in the denominations of 10, like 20, 40, 100. And these 10s are smug and happy, because most of the times those who are getting caught are the 5s. This continues till the end. And in the end, after some deliberation, I call out a last value. This one ends with a 5, like a 15 or 25 or 35. Now, everything changes in the room. Suddenly, each single person in the minority becomes extremely important. And you can see a mad scramble to get hold of one of them. So after the ensuing chaos, those who are left out are generally the 10s. So when this whole performance and laughter settles down, I ask this question: who do you think is more important, 5 rupees or 10 rupees? This also leads to help me with my next question, which is, do you feel that we are all surrounded by perceived values? Now, whether you like it or not, the answer is yes. I'm a fresher in the college. I may be a 10 rupees. That person in the second year may be a 20. Oh, that senior, final year student, must be a 50. What about the faculty members? Must be 100. Now, these values are not listed. They are in our brains. And that's why they're different for different people. And what this perceived values mindset does is that it creates a boundary, a virtual boundary around us. And most of us tend to live our lives within those boundaries. And also, these boundaries, over a period of time, create our limiting beliefs. Beliefs which we live our lives with. And these limiting beliefs stop us from doing some incredible work. Now, the question is, where do we pick these values from? See, they are not all our own. Most of them are given by the world around us, what we also call as society. Now, let me take you help in identifying some of these values. So when I do this, let's all say it's higher. So it's higher. And when I do this, we say lower. Let me check it out. Here it goes.
Higher.
And this one?
Low.
Great, it's working. So let me proceed. So, as I was saying, that these values are given by people around us, most of them. So, here is how it works. You run faster on the track than others, your value is?
Higher.
Oh, you never finish what you start, your value is?
Low.
Oh, you drive a fancy car, your value is?
Higher.
Oh, you're tall and you are 6 feet tall and you are so fair, your value is?
Higher.
You wear so normal clothes, your value is?
Low.
Oh, you have so beautiful eyes, your value is? Higher. I hope you're getting it now. They come to us this way. Okay. But what happens is that this really stays with us for a long time. Now let me take you to the another side of the spectrum. That's where there are people who feel that their perceived values higher than those around them. And they live with this feeling of entitlement. I have worked with hundreds of teams in the last decade, and I can tell you that I get 2 kinds of managers in my workshop. Type 1 are those who come and participate in every single activity throughout the offsite. They're with the team in the times of fun, laughter, they play together, fail together, eat together, and take active part in the conversations. And then there are those, the type 2 managers, who give their teams to me and say, take good care, and then they slowly move out to different side of the resort and enjoy their drinks with a selected few. These type 2 managers are not with the team in the times of fun and laughter. They're also not with them in the moments of challenge and vulnerability. After meeting many such type 2 managers, I actually wrote a share in Hindi. Hear it how it goes. अपने में ही ऐठे रहते थे, महफिल से जुदा वो रहते थे. अपने में ही ऐठे रहते थे, महफिल से जुदा वो रहते थे. आपसे पहले और भी थे जो खुद को खुदा कहते थे. So, thank you. These type 2 managers also do not align with my own vision of inspiring we before me. Because in this world which is so biased towards thinking about self, when we take all along, when we include everyone together, the world will become an amazing place. And this whole association, my association with this whole quote which is we before me, is much deeper and personal. I was raised in Varanasi, where I was doing good as a young man. I was having a little recognition in my town because I used to write poems and I used to do anchoring on stage. This was 21 years back. But when I moved to Delhi in 2001, things were different. The world changed for me. The city was faster and the people were sharp. They used to talk about Phantom and Tintin, and I was coming from the world of Chacha Chaudhary, Billu, and Nagraj. So gelling up was very difficult for me as well initially. In fact, I must tell you something I did. I never shared that in public before. I actually ran away from my first job. After trying out in 7 or 8 different companies, I finally got hired and I was thrilled about it. My first job. But very soon, while I was in the training and all, this whole miscalculation of perceived value took a toll on me. This whole feeling of not belonging to that place. In just 2 months, I made a very weird move. After one weekend, I never returned. I went absconding. It took me 5, 6 months to get over this whole guilt of running away from my first job and not picking up my manager's phone. I guess he was counting on me. So when this was a long period through which I was feeling like I'm an imposter, I'm an outsider, I don't belong to this place, it's just like that. But after working in the corporate for sales and marketing and customer service for 8 years, when I got an opportunity to actually work in a team building company, I switched. Because I knew from this place I can actually help people. Help those who feel like an outsider, just like I was, to feel included. And help teams to include those who come to them. And that's where this whole journey started. And I'm so grateful that in the last 10 years, 11 years, I have been able to help more than 60 organizations build better teams and inspiring leaders. In fact, I made my tagline as helping teams bond and individuals grow. And after meeting more than 20,000 people in the workshops, I can safely say I found out that there are 3 types of teams actually. One that has trust, one that misses trust, and one that has a purpose. Let me quickly expand them for you. The one that has trust makes a very unique environment to work. People feel safe to share. Also, though nobody works on this whole idea that you have to earn my trust or the vice versa. Trust is given upfront as a default behavior. It's assumed that everybody here is trustworthy, reliable, and faithful. Mistakes are challenged. Mistakes are actually questioned, but the intent is never questioned. And this place creates a great fertile ground for people to grow. The teams that don't have trust actually also create a very unique environment. People work in silos. They don't want to take difficult conversations up. People also don't want to challenge the status quo or just change what is going on. Managers get into micromanaging every single thing. In fact, recently I was doing a workshop with a group, and in this group we were talking and debriefing after every activity. And what happened is that I realized after some time that only 4 or 5 people were talking all the time. The rest was quiet, as if it is not their job to speak and share. I felt an imbalance in the room, so I started asking probing questions with those who were not speaking. One person was particularly happy to share when asked for, but the moment he started speaking, there were some giggles and whispers in the room. He hardly shared a phrase or something and he kept quiet after that. It was awkward. I later met him in the break and I asked if he's feeling okay. He said, absolutely fine. This keeps happening all the time. Few people here feel that they know all the right answers and others are fools. Now, the irony is there are a lot of teams out there like that. A lot of them. Now, let me take you to the third type of team, which has a purpose. Now, this team already has trust in place. They go a level up and they actually create an identity that resonates with each single person of the team. These teams rise above the natural desire of money and growth. They come to work every day because there is a strong desire to meet a purpose, to solve a problem. People feel that they have the same perceived value. And there's a different kind of culture out there because people feel like cult followers there. Now, tomorrow, you may end up leading any of these teams. You may end up getting a chance to create one of them as well. The question is, what can we do to create inclusive teams? So I'll give you actually 4 tips inspired by the work of Timothy Clark in his book 4 Stages of Psychological Safety, and we can get started with creating something called inclusion safety in the team. What is this? That we need to actually open our doors to everyone. Everyone is welcome and they feel safe. Safe against the fear of judgment and the fear of humiliation and rejection. And this is a place which this can happen easily in the teams that have trust. This is the place where people actually recalibrate their own existing perceived values. Then we can begin with something called learner safety, where we can create an environment where people feel free to learn, free to ask questions, free to experience something, free to review and be reviewed, and also make mistakes. And then comes the third one, which is creating contributor safety, which basically actually addresses the very basic human need of human beings to contribute and, be of purpose to somebody. And you feel confident that you are a part of the whole family and you can contribute. Now, I can tell you one place where it does not happen. It's in the kitchen in my house. And my mom and my wife are cooking, they never let me contribute. They feel it creates a mess. But, I feel I'm a team player. But yeah, going further to next category, that's challenger safety. In challenger safety, we create an environment where people get the courage to ask questions. Why do we do it this way here? Is there a better way? Can I try something else? We actually are giving them an power to ask these difficult questions, to challenge the status quo, and actually at the same time feel safe that there is no risk of having a reputation on their own a dent on their own reputation. Now, when this thing is present, and it can be easily found in places where a purpose is already existing, because what happens is that people are already on the same perceived value in that team which has a purpose, and mission is more important than method. When we miss to create this safety net in a team, what happens? That it becomes emotionally, expensive for the team members. People feel scared to act. Fear shuts them down. And then very soon you will see that there is no growth because people are feeling low and there is no true potential being utilized. No wonder so many of people don't like what they do. But if we create these 4 things into a team, what we get is amazing. We get deeply inclusive places, environments, we accelerate learning, we can increase contribution, and we can simulate innovation. Guys, every unit of people coming together is a team. I feel this world is a collection of teams. So if we can fix the team, we can fix the world. So here are 3 things which I would like you to ask yourself. That how inclusive is your team? What do you think is their perceived value? What is your perceived value? Thank you.